Hey guys, Big Adele here, and today I'm going to show you a example or a game where I did my double proxy build. I'm not going to explain the build super in depth because I have a video for it, but I'm going to show what happened this game. This game I'll be playing against Gazorp. He is a friend I recently made, so this is a custom game that me and him played. He's never seen this build, as most people on the ladder have not, so we get an authentic reaction. Let's see what we. I'm going to send the drones out at 30 seconds to take the proxy hatches. Looks like he's going gas first, and then just gateway expand. It's a very early gas. Wonder how hard he goes Stargate. I've never actually rewatched this. I just know that I was able to do my early game build really cleanly. So you take the hatch over here at the third, and then they're gonna wall off the front. You can take your other hatch here, but you don't really want to do that because then they'll build defenses here, which will defend the third base assault. So what you want to do is come in here and scout everything, and then build a hatch as far away from the front as possible. That way, if they just decide to build cannons around it, they build cannons over here that aren't going to do anything, rather than cannons right here, which are going to defend this. He's just going to go ahead and make a forge so that he can stop this proxy hatch. Pretty much everyone sees the proxy hatch in their main, and of course, they never see the proxy hatch at their third down here. And that's pretty much what this build relies on. The first overlord you're going to send to the Nat, and then just put it on the pervert pillar. Second overlord, I like to send over here, somewhere over by where the hatch is, so you can take a look at what's around it before you cancel it. Also, you can just leave it around the outside for scouting. That way you can see if they try and leave with this overlord or if they try and fly out with this overlord. He's going to go ahead and make some cannons to stop this. I actually can see that there is a cannon within range, and so I want to make sure that I cancel after that cannon is already built so he can't cancel it. He wisely starts one of them later, so he is able to cancel that one. Meanwhile, spines are starting to come up, making more drones with the cancellation of that third. Oh, I'm being greedy. I don't even. Well, I guess I'm not being greedy. I don't have a hatch yet. Getting the roach horn after the spawning pool is done. 2 spines and a spore to both assault and defend anything coming over here. He's gonna finally get a cybernetics core. I was kind of late, but I guess he was worried about walling off early, which makes sense. He had been hyped up that there was some crazy build I had. He might have just thought it was Zergling Rush. Now we're going to start spreading creep as soon as this queen is down. That way you can get this sieging their base as soon as possible. Make 3 roaches as soon as the roach horn's done. Turn all of them into ravagers. Don't be a noob like me and be supply blocked. That way you can morph all the ravagers and immediately start attacking the wall. Of course, spread creep as fast as you can. Keep moving up those spines and spores. He's over here making Stalker Sentry to hold this off. Finally sees that, oh shit, that's a bunch of Ravagers and Spines and Spores right outside my base, and Creep coming in. Decides to go Stargate. Classic protoss move. And now you're on their ass. You want to kill the Forge first in this situation, because even if you kill one of the gateways, they still have another gateway. I'm not actually microing anything, so they're just attacking the gateway because it's the farthest out thing. Once the Ravagers are done, try and bile down the pylon so that nothing is powered. Of course, you don't actually want to fight Protoss units, especially like Stalkers. You just want to go in, bile, and run behind the Spines, because the Spines are much better at actually fighting than the Ravagers. casually lose a Ravager to a cannon, which isn't good, but just make sure you keep knocking down these pylons and keep pushing in with the spines and the spores. He's just going to make a Void Ray and chrono that out. Probably a good idea. Because of my lack of anti-air, I'm going to make another spore crawler from a drone that I made over here. Make sure that you don't die on cannons, but once you have enough roaches and spines, don't be hesitant to push up and just jump on not enough stuff to defend it. Whenever a Void Ray comes, you just have to pull back and hope you bait it into the Spore Crawlers. The Spore Crawlers do quite a bit of damage. You can even bait it by pulling back the spines into the spores. And without battery healing, the Void Rays won't be able to 1v1 the spores. And also, if you don't have anti-air really besides the spores and the queens, but you can bile underneath the Void Rays, and that'll make them move, which will make the spores be able to do a lot more damage. Of course, they'll probably go for the queen a lot. Just make sure to keep pulling that behind and constantly biling. Meanwhile, behind this, take a lair, take it 2 Evo chambers, and start just droning up that natural. Again, keep fighting everything you can. Make sure you bile Void Rays whenever possible. It shouldn't hit, but it might, and it'll also force them to not be shooting the spore, so the spore can shoot them. Keep just biling everything you can down. Once there's no cannons up here, you can keep pushing more creep forward and more turrets forward. I don't have any more creep tumors to spread because the cannons sniped it. Once you can, just start fighting the drones, or the probes. If they pull the drones on you, run back into the spines and the spores. It'll stop anything from chasing. And then you just continue to work your way forward, keep moving spores up. If they ever attack your bases throughout this, you can make roaches from back here, and you can also make queens and spores. You kind of just react to how aggressive they're being. And you don't need to push up to the top. He builds 2 cannons and a battery. I have no intention of getting up there. If you're able to knock down the Nat and just keep him on one base while you keep droning up and preparing for any Sky Toss move out, as long as you have an arc of roaches and spines, they can't push out with ground units, so they're going to need a bunch of air units. And with this nice little wall of shit here, he shouldn't really be able to push out with anything, and he shouldn't be able to break this with anything. So in the back, you just keep making drones, make a spire, get some more spores, because I know all he's got is air units, so I just need either Corruptors or Void Rays, or not Void Rays, I would love Void Rays, Corruptors or Mutas. Obviously he has a bunch of Void Rays, so you probably want to go Mutas, but Corruptors are a nice, easy all answer. So this has held the front now, and he's decided he's just going to need to go and kill me. At some point, they'll probably do this, unless they just fizzle away trying to take out the contain. So just make sure you have some roaches to stop anything on the ground. And you probably want 2 spores per base, as well as the queens, because if they just walk over with a bunch of Void Rays, it's very hard to stop. Of course, this is why you got the Spire, so make a bunch of mutas. Like I said, I made a couple Corruptors first. And even back at your base, always remember to walk the queen away from them past the spore. That way they get baited into the spore. And this isn't going great, but the front is still holding fine, so all I need to do is stop these guys. Some Corruptors come in a couple at a time and just get melted, because that's what Void Rays do to Corruptors, but with more spores popping up all over the ground, the Corruptors can't really... no, never mind. Corruptors definitely still can't get the Void Rays, because Void Rays. But now we're going to make some mutas, and once I can just... If I can just make mutas off of 2 bases, I'll beat Void Rays off of 1 base. God, Corruptors are bad against Void Rays. Oh my god. He got that one. Look at this. This is a Chud. He was able to finally get one. But yeah, finally just some mutas are going to come out and finish this, and he's still contained. And so, yeah, that's it. That's about it with that one. I'm ahead now. that initial push, as long as you can hold the contain, you'll win in a macro game eventually. So he just kind of all in once he realized that. But it's really fun to just hold the contain and watch him squirm. Hope y'all enjoyed, and talk to you later. Love y'all.